5. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. I know this is the show you have been waiting for all year long. Our top 10 movies of the year. We're also going to be sharing our top 5 movies that were disappointing from the year 2024.
I didn't fully prepare for that part.
Oh, did you not?
No, but it's okay.
I've got a couple pick some out.
I got a couple in my brain.
All right, so top 10, we normally do these in no order. I normally do slides and then get called out for having slides and you didn't. So this year we'll just look them up and we'll show a screen of.
I'm eating Buñuelos.
That's fine. I'm going to have Buñuelo too. All right, do you want to go with your first one?
Sure.
What do you got?
So I'd like to point out to everybody, ours are in no specific order.
No order whatsoever.
And they're really not necessarily the best films of the year. They're the films that we enjoyed, connected with, for whatever reason we liked.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
very much.
We could go down the list of normal stuff of like Baby Girl and The Brutalist and The Last Showgirl and all the movies of the award stuff. That's not what we look at. While we enjoy and love a lot of those movies, we're just looking at the kind of ones that
the one I like.
Like,
yeah.
I look at it like stuff I would watch again.
Mm-hmm.
That's the 10 I look at. So, excuse me. I'm going to start from the bottom of my list. Normally, I don't put superhero films in these categories because I obviously like them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And they're such genre films or whatever. But I did put Deadpool and Wolverine in this one this year, mostly because it was kind of it was something we never thought we'd see.
Correct.
2, it was a send-off love letter to the Fox era of X-Men. And it just ended up being a movie that had no business ever working. And it worked on so many levels of being heartfelt and action-packed and hilarious and nostalgic and a little bit of everything. So I couldn't resist putting it on there. And I wouldn't argue if Hugh Jackman was nominated for some sort of award for that film, just for some of the stuff like the speech in the car when he's talking about, angry about the whole situation, and then stuff later in the film when he's talking about being the only X-Man and all that stuff. So, I mean, there's some great acting moments in that movie too.
And you know what's crazy? It's on my list too.
Is it really? I wouldn't expect to pick that at all.
And not at all, because these are not at all like my movies.
Yeah.
Like all of the Marvel, like out of all the Marvel movies, there's like 2 that I will watch over and over. And so, yeah, I'm not necessarily a superhero kind of movie thing, but to me, this was more than that. This was kind of the culmination of the Wolverine story. And like you said, Hugh Jackman did an amazing job. And then I'm not expecting myself to love Deadpool as much as I do. And the combo, because it's ridiculous.
Deadpool's amazing.
I know, but it's ridiculous.
Well,
and I am someone of high moral character.
Oh, dear God.
That should not like this junk. But it's so good.
She's full of crap. The other big thing about this too was there was a fine line from the perfection of Logan that ended the Wolverine era of how are they going to navigate it, make this movie, and not disrespect what Logan did.
Everything that's already happened.
Not only did they do that, they were able to poke fun at Logan, but embrace Logan and make it even something more.
Yes.
So
it was really good, and I agree. I'll give you that one. We may not agree on anything. Okay.
What's yours? Next one.
Hold on.
What are you typing?
I'm telling people come watch the show. Share.
Oh.
Okay, I'm going to just randomly pick one. And this one also, I'm surprising myself by even pick this one. I'm picking Dune Part 2.
Really?
Yes, I really like this movie. I would watch it again, even though it's really long. And it's one of those where it made the first one better. Because I didn't really care so much for the first one. But watching them all continuously, it actually makes the story make sense. And I get it. And I'm like excited to see what happens next.
Well, what's funny is I always have wanted to love Dune. It seemed like the kind of movie with that Star Wars, Star Trek era, epic, Lord of the Rings, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
That should be something I love, and I'm not a fan. And when the first movie came out, the part 1, not the original one, I was excited and visually it was stunning, and I left it going, this movie was boring.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not like it. I was very upset because I was mad because I want to love it so bad.
Yeah. And I didn't.
I did thoroughly enjoy the second one more and agree with you. I didn't like it as much as everybody else still made it out to be, but I do agree with you. It was a much better movie. It does make the first one better.
It does.
My next one is not one that will be classified as a great movie by a lot of people, but it's from a director I love, subject matter that I love, and a movie that worked way better than I thought it might have been. And I think it sets up a possible franchise. And I hope a thing would be the movie Werewolves, because I love that movie. It was such a fun, action-packed, man in suit, creative nature of old school werewolf movie.
Yeah, agreed.
So,
it was a good one. Let me just show this page back so you can see all.
It's not for everybody. It's not breaking down the walls of filmmaking necessarily, but I thought it was a strong candidate of one of the better werewolf movies ever made. In the context of, obviously, you got The Howling and American Werewolf in London and things like that, and I think it's right up there with them.
It was on my list at one point, and then it got dropped off.
It was one of those that was flagged to stay on my list because I do love. Again, I also love all things werewolves, and I love the director, and it was a great movie.
It was a good movie. Okay, this one was really unexpected and surprising to me and crazy, and I still don't even know if I really understand what happened. Late Night with the Devil.
That movie made my list.
Oh, good.
I love this movie.
It's so crazy because I don't know, it's scary, I guess, but it's creepy. And I'm just like, what the heck is going on? And like, did this really happen? And what happened next? Like, I want to watch it again because I feel like I need to see it again, because the entire thing, you get to that one point with the girl and you're like, what? And then something else happens. And then you get to the very end and you're like, what?
It's one of those that I think
it kept me on the edge of my seat.
It does go off the rails a little bit in the last act.
Yeah.
I think that where it can lose a lot of people.
Some people are going to be like, this is
But
weird.
I think it's one of the few found footage type films that feels like you're actually watching the TV show from the 70s.
That's why it got me, because I forgot that it was found footage until we get to the end.
And it feels like you're watching old footage of a late night. I thought they perfectly captured it. I thought he was fantastic.
So
I agree
good.
with that. Movie was on my list as well.
Good.
I actually have a lot of horror element films this year. I usually try to be more diverse, but movies are what I got.
It is what it is.
Well, speaking of which, more of another thriller element. I really was surprised how much I like this movie. Again, it's not a movie for everyone, but I love the movie Longlegs.
Oh, so creepy.
The creepy Nicolas Cage movie. It's not really a horror movie as much as it is a crime thriller, but it's a little unnerving. I thought Nicolas Cage was fantastic.
And you know what? Is it on my list? It did stay on my list.
On your top 10?
Yes.
Nice.
Again, not one I would pick normally because I don't know if people connect.
It's not one I could rewatch a lot.
Horror movies, yeah, because once you see it, you're like, whoa.
Yeah. And I think you kind of have to be in the mood to sit through that because it's such slow burn.
It is, but it's so well done. And when you get to the twist about the ladies that are involved, I'm not going to say who, what, the detective and something else is happening. And then that one scene where he has his little monologue scene, he's like, I'm like,
well, I think that the marketing helped make this movie so much powerful because they wouldn't let anybody see him. They released a thing connected to her heartbeat.
Yes, that was the first time she saw him on film.
And so then when you see it, his visual of him was not what I expected him to be, but it was still a little bit creepy and unnerving. Like I think I expected something more disturbing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, but it was. It's really weird.
It was. It's very disturbing, but it's such a good movie.
What else you got?
Okay. I can't believe I'm saying this one. Sasquatch Sunset. Did you have it? You had to have had it at some point.
I think I did.
Okay, guys.
It was originally on here.
This movie.
That's one of those movies that shouldn't exist.
I don't even know how to say Sasquatch Sunset. But here's the thing. So one of my friends is like, my boyfriend went and watched me. It's so dumb. And if you look at it just on the cursory level, it is. But it's actually a very deep story about the taking of indigenous lands, the killing of indigenous people, and what happens to them. And it's actually a very deep, moving story. I mean, there's one point where I told you I can't believe I'm crying about this Sasquatch that got stuck under a log. And I'm like, oh my God.
There's no dialogue in this movie.
No, and it's absolutely ridiculous at times. But if you look at the bigger story, it's actually a compelling movie.
Are you crying again?
No.
Oh.
But
in the movie, the whole context of the movie feels like you're watching like one of those nature documentaries that happen to be following Sasquatches.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. But
it is a fantastic movie, but it is an acquired taste movie.
It really is. If
It
you,
is on the surface, as you said, it's stupid.
Yeah.
But if you let the movie play out and you
Just
understand
let
what's
it
going on,
and just like kind of let yourself connect with
I
it.
agree.
And you're either going to be able to connect on that level or not. And I understand it's not going to be for everyone.
The next one I want to go with, I went with an action movie, which normally I had a lot of action movies that I really love this year, but normally they don't end up on my top 10 unless it's just something like really different.
Yeah.
And I've seen this movie 3 times now.
Oh gosh.
And it was one that I expected to be good, but not enjoy it equally as much all 3 times. And it was the movie Kill.
Oh, did I see that?
Yes, it's the one that's about on the train.
On the train.
Yes,
Like
the Indian.
Is it Indian?
It's an Indian film. It's an English. I think it's an American production or a co-production, but it's an Indian film.
This is a really good movie.
It's a fantastic action.
Great action movie.
It's intense. It's long, and I think what made it even stronger for me is I watched it alone the first time, and then I was like, "This movie's so good." I sent it to you. You watched it alone. You were like, "What?" Then we watched it with a group of friends. One of them being Indian, and was seeing her reactions to some of the actors that are playing against type, and it was really getting into her. And I was seeing the different levels of how this movie delivered, and it's just a movie that I could watch this movie over and over.
It is a really well done movie. I think one of the things I kept telling you, like the second time, it hit me the first time, but the second time, I love international productions because they're not afraid to kill some main characters or kill some people that you're like, what? Wait a minute, no. And that's just the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And this is one of those, we're action fighting. 45 minutes in, we get the credits. And I'm like,
yeah.
Wait a minute, what? Like that was just the intro? Like, it was amazing. And the stunt work that they did, they're in a confined train. So, they're in this much space. And what they were able to do and get it shot, so good.
Yeah.
I agree. Great movie. Great
what
movie.
You got?
Okay, next. Again, I can't believe I like some of these movies that I went in intentionally not wanting to like and watch. Alien Romulus.
Oh, no, that movie was fantastic.
It was really good, and I didn't expect it because, it's an alien sci-fi movie, and we're like, oh, how many alien movies are we in now? There's been a gazillion of them, bloody, but man, this one got me. And, I'm a Predator fan, not an Alien fan. I'm just going to show this screen.
I think it's because this one also kind of goes back to the original.
Yeah, and it's bringing us back. And then that creature at the end, I'm still in awe. Like, that was a real dude in prosthetics. And I'm like, that was a real person? Like, oh my gosh, it got me. It got me, and it was compelling. And that one I would watch over and over again. Like, it's awesome.
Well, sticking with my theme of horror,
yes, ma'am.
I went into a movie that you didn't see. Again, it's another acquired taste film.
Yeah.
I love this franchise. It was Terrifier 3. And the reason I love this movie so much, I know it seems silly.
Yeah. Good old art.
Well, there's a couple of things about this movie that I think sticks out. The fact that it's the 3rd movie in the franchise, and it's able to not only amp up the killing and the creativity of the killing and make it so much more. They've expanded the storyline into a bigger element, which started off as just art and the killing, and now there's a bigger element to it. But each film keeps getting better.
Yeah.
And on top of all of this, that it's an independent film.
Yeah.
That keeps making a ton of money.
Yeah, and I think, okay, I don't need all this.
Because it's one of those that, if I remember the story.
I'm just going to show this page because this is what came up.
I remember one of the stories was the director or writer-director was trying to sell it to somebody and they didn't want it. And so he said, fine, I'll make it myself. And then the first movie made a lot of money. Second one was insane amount of money. And now it's kind of just his.
Yeah, and one of the things, I haven't seen all of the things. I've just seen
You've only seen All Hallows Eve.
But just in that small one, this guy's amazing.
He is.
The actor.
And I don't think he's the same in all of them. Is it not
the same?
Hold on. I think in Hallows Eve, I thought it was a different guy.
Okay, well, he was amazing.
But this guy is fantastic.
Yeah, Art the Clown just wants to come and cause
There's been a lot of people pushing to try to get him to play the Joker.
Oh, but whoever this dude is, their mannerisms, because he does not speak through the whole thing.
No, it's a different art and Terrifier.
Okay, well, I've seen bits, unfortunately, while you've been watching it, but it's amazing.
Yeah, David Howard Thornton is, I believe, him in all the
1, 2, 3s.
I believe he's in all 3 of them. Hold on.
Because he's killing people and bloody. but there's points where he's like,
Yeah,
it's
he
like,
started in the first Terrifier movie.
you know, and his mannerisms of it, and so you know exactly like what's happening here without him having to talk.
Yeah, he
And
never
it's
talks. He
amazing.
makes no sound. He's a mime.
Yeah.
And he is
We're
terrifying.
in France, and he's like, I didn't see any
I
mime.
didn't see a single mime. It was some bullshit.
Anyways.
Anyway,
yes,
I love
I'll give
Terrifier
you
3. It
Terrifier
was one of
3.
those that,
It's terrifying.
and I love that it's a movie that has no business, not only being successful, but making the money that it makes. When they turn this one into a Christmas film,
Yeah.
They know their audience. They're not shying away because it's made money. A lot of times sequels, when they get more money to them, they go too far and make it not, it loses its magic. This one just said, okay, well, let's be even more insane with the kills.
It's so gross.
It's
gross
so
looking.
fantastic movies.
Are these even rated R? What are they rated?
No, they're way over unrated.
I was gonna say because it can't be.
And I got to see, this is the first one I got to see in the theater. So Terrifier 1 and 2 I saw at home, and All Hallows Eve I saw on DVD.
Okay.
So this one I got to experience it on the big screen. It was fantastic.
All right.
What you got?
I am picking The Substance.
Hey, that's on my list as well.
Oh, good. I don't know. Again, I think this is another one that's not going to connect with some people, or it does at the beginning. And maybe I wonder too if some people are like, "Oh, I'm just going to go see these ladies naked," and that's not even what this is about. It is so much deeper than that.
But that is some of the power to the film.
But I feel like if you're missing out if that's what you're going. But this movie is like so deep and so poignant about women and aging and how maybe Hollywood or other industries, I think even the world sometimes treats women, and at a certain age, it's like you're past your prime. We need to call in someone a little younger to take the place, to be the face of whatever it is. And it is kind of horror, and it is kind of, I think, but also I think it's very dramatic, and I think
it's body horror.
It is body horror, but it also, to me, was just like so moving on a certain level that anybody would ever think somebody like a Demi Moore is like past their prime.
Yeah.
That lady is amazing and beautiful no matter. I mean, she's in this other freaking show right now, but just the idea, but then her own idea that she's past and she needs the younger version of herself to be, that thing that's in our own heads. And so that's what I loved about this. At the end, it does go a little bit off the chains a little, and I liked it. I thought it was fantastic,
I love the ending.
and I get it. And it was like, how long is this going to go on? It's going to go and it's going to go. But you know what? Sometimes in life, it goes on and on and on until you get it. And I think that's what it needed to be.
Yeah.
And it's going to lose some people, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's not a movie for everybody, but I love the movie as well. It is on my list as well.
And she did such an amazing job, at the point where it does kind of get into some dysmorphia.
Yeah.
I mean, she's
well, and I think also having someone like Dennis Quaid play somebody so
he's so gross
and disgusting and
so gross.
And then flip around and play Reagan.
We're going to talk about that in a minute.
We already did talk about it.
That's
on that list. Okay.
I need to talk about it.
All right. Well, The Substance did make my list.
Good. Okay.
But I'm going to go something completely opposite of The Substance. The 4:30 movie, which is Kevin Smith's new movie, made my list, and here's why. I
did not like this.
Huh?
I did not like this movie.
Oh, okay, well that's fine.
That's okay.
But I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan, but I think I connected with this movie
differently
from my childhood too. You didn't have a childhood going to the movies and hanging out like that. You were like at church or sitting at home. You didn't really get to do anything.
I know.
And so I went to the movie with my friends and hung out at the theater and went through a lot of this stuff. So I connected from that point, but I also felt like it went back to the roots of Kevin Smith's Clerks and things like that. And I thought it was well written. I thought it was a fun little movie. It was nostalgic to like 80s teen flicks and knew what it was. It was trying to be that. It wasn't trying to break down the barriers of comedy and drama, and yet it connected kind of to all that.
Agreed.
And I liked it. I've seen the movie like 2 or 3 times, and I've liked it every time.
There you go. All right.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Oh, y'all know I'm gonna pick this one, The Wild Robot.
Yeah.
I
don't think that made any of my lists. Although it is a good movie.
I just really liked this movie. I don't know why, but it really connected with me and it spoke to me, and I was over here crying about it. And I think it's just one of those, it starts off kind of a fish out of water, but I think to me it spoke on a deeper level about finding your true family, and that your family isn't always,
Still looking.
hey, your family isn't always who you're related to, or how you were made, or how you were raised, or where you were, your upbringing, all of that. Your family is who you choose them to be. And, that they can find love of a robot, a robot that's not made to have emotions and feelings, but it can be. It broke down those walls. And I was just over here bawling about this robot and this little bird. And it really, really touched me. And I want to watch it again so I can have a good cry, but not right now because I'm congested.
Yeah, obviously I have a cough. Sorry.
Such a good movie.
Well, sticking to that theme then.
Mm.
One of my other favorites was Memoir of a Snail.
Mm.
If you don't know that movie, we did a show about it, I think. But it is a stop motion movie. I knew nothing about it going into it. I'd seen the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I'd kind of ignored it because I thought it was something else. Then I saw the trailer and like, oh my God, this is stop motion. I'd love to see this. Then I started watching it, not knowing that this was not a kid's movie.
Nope.
And it was kind of heavy, and you didn't have any interest in it.
I didn't, and I'm glad you made me watch it.
And I'm like, you have to watch this movie. But that's also one of those that I'll send her thinking she's going to love this and connect with it. And then she's going to be like, then she goes, yeah, I didn't like it. Like, I really thought you'd like the 4:30 movie. I don't know why you didn't connect with that movie.
But I liked the snail.
No, I know that. I'm just saying. That's one of the prime examples. Like,
you think I'm going to love it.
I just think you'll find it hilarious like I did. And then you're like, yeah, it's all right. And I'm like, okay, then. And so this was one of those ones I'm like, if she gets it, she's going to love this movie. If she doesn't connect with it, then she's going to be like, this movie is just sad. Too sad for me.
It is sad, but I got it. And I did really like this movie too. I'm telling you, the funniest part is when her friend's like, one day you look down at your legs and you're trying to fix your stockings and you realize it's just your wrinkly skin. And I was cracking. But it's an interesting, sad story about this lady's life. And it's actually very moving. And I was crying at the end over these little clay people.
It's such a great movie.
It was really good. I agree.
What else you got? Anything else?
Yes, I'm almost done.
I think I have one more.
Oh, I still have 3 more.
Well, I have a couple.
Oh, I have 2 and an extra. I did 11.
Okay, that's not allowed.
You said 10 plus one more.
No, I said 10, and then you can have some bonus ones.
Oh, well, okay, I'll do
bonus
10.
List.
Okay. This one, I keep telling people to watch this movie, and I can't believe I'm saying it, but The Heretic.
That was a great movie.
It was a great movie. I think it spoke to me on a very deep level as someone who is devoutly religious. I'm a minister, super Christian, but I'm one of those people that I'm always open to talking about religion and beliefs and, your upbringing and why you think this and why you think that. And this movie really just like got to me and it spoke to me. And we talked about it a while after and talked about it again. I talked about it. That
movie could have skipped the entire last act and just spent the entire time with all the dialogue and the discussions and still worked.
Yeah.
Even though the last act made it a better movie.
It's such a good movie. And it's really interesting to see him do something different, because I'm over here like, oh, I'm just a boy in front of a girl, telling him to love me. But I mean, we've grown past that.
You're a boy?
Yeah, Hugh Grant is amazing, and those 2 girls are really good. And it's interesting that they both grew up Mormon, and they're in this movie portraying Mormons.
This is one of the movies I like. I really love this movie as well. It didn't make my top 10 list, but I do hope.
I hope people see it.
Hugh Grant is recognized because I think his performance is amazing.
Amazing.
All right. Okay. Well, my last one, because I had a bunch.
I have one more. Then
I had a bunch of the same.
Yeah, me too.
My last one is Nosferatu.
I picked that one too.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
I love the new Nosferatu movie. I thought it was so fantastically well done.
I even have it pulled up.
I thought it was creepy. It was not scary at all, but I wasn't expecting that because I don't think the original is scary. But I really love the original, and I thought this one did such an amazing job at not only paying homage to the new one, the original one, but being its own voice and doing its own thing without disrespecting or trying to change anything. The Count Orlok looks different, but I think he fits more of a Russian vibe to this one, which at the same time, I would have loved to see the older version updated makeup. So, but both ways works, and that's what I loved about it.
And I like too that it takes the original and expands upon it. It gives it, it's adding in the dialogue. And one of the things I told you at one point, I was like, oh, that was in the original movie. So the original black and white has the cards that come up where you're reading,
Yeah.
but they
Dialogue.
actually use the dialogue from
Yeah.
some of that in this movie. So I was like, oh, that's such a smart way to do it, to pay homage, but just to expand on the original story and give us more of that original one. So yes, I agree. Nosferatu was great.
So then I have. Do you have one more after that? I'm sorry.
Well, that since it was
Okay,
the same,
so I have
some others.
I always like to go 5 extras that are ones that were on the
Wow.
list that didn't quite make it, and for whatever reason.
I got some.
Don't
worry.
If you have any of those.
Oh, I got some.
All right. So my first one on this was the movie Monkey Man.
Oh.
Which I thought was a great action flick. You still never watched it.
I don't think I've seen it.
But I think there's multiple levels. It's a great movie. It's hyper violent, but I think it's also the fact that he directed it. He stars in it, and it's not a movie I would have expected from him. And it's dark, it's gritty, it's dirty, it's violent, and I was just like, this is such a good movie, man.
This is not who I expected Dev Patel to be.
No, and I think if you finally watch it,
I will.
I think you'll be surprised and impressed by the movie you get, because it's almost like John Wick, but with cultural, if that makes sense. And he's not as unstoppable as John Wick. So he takes a beating while beating up people, and where John Wick tend to just kick the crap out of everybody.
Yeah.
But that's my first backup one.
Okay, my backup. It's this is your fault for this movie. The best Christmas pageant ever. Another one of those that I had no interest in watching. And then you're like, you need to watch this movie. And you know what? I'm glad that I did, because this was a really good, heartfelt, moving, emotional movie. I don't know if its intention is to be a Christian drama, but it is, and not in a bad way. It's not pushy. It's just telling us a story of these kids who they don't really have parents because their dad's gone, the mother's busy all the time, and so they're kind of raising themselves. They end up at church because they're coming for the free food, and they end up finding out the true meaning of Christmas. And I just thought it was very moving. And
and I think it's interesting because, as you mentioned, it's a movie that walks a line that if you're a very religious person, you'll connect with the religious nature of the story in the message. If you're not a very religious person, you can just connect with the comedy and the drama of the film, but never feel like somebody's trying to push Jesus on you.
Right.
And I thought I told the director when I interviewed him that I thought that was a genius way of projecting, because that's one of the issues I've always had with people preaching to people is most people are turned off and you try to force it in their face.
Yeah.
But if you find that good opening or let them come to you, then you're going to have a better success. And I think this movie does that.
Yep. Okay. Over to you, my love.
One of mine is I have a few sequels on this one this time too, because they're all sequels I either didn't think would exist or wouldn't work. One of them is Beetlejuice. Because I've been waiting for that movie forever. Knew they were going to make it. Had pretty much decided it was going to probably suck.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't really capture the magic of the original movie, which is such a brilliant movie. And then I see it, I'm like, holy crap, this movie is fantastic.
Yep.
And there were so many hurdles of not only Winona Ryder and Michael Keaton being older. The time is different than that when that movie came out. The guy that's gotten a lot of trouble, how would they handle him? And everything just seemed to be just brilliantly put together, and it was one of those that I just loved.
Yeah, and it was on my original list here that got kind of bumped down. Yeah,
nice.
I really enjoyed this movie, and again, no business even thinking I would like it, because I do not like the first movie. I prefer this one. It just makes a lot more sense to me, and I would watch this one.
Well, to be fair, the first movie, as genius it is, there's not a lot to it. It's just chaos.
Yeah,
this
and I don't like chaos. This one has a story.
This one got a story, more of a story. The first one adds a story, but it's very small.
This one to me was unexpected, and I'm not sure. I think it's this. I like it because it stuck with me in a weird way. It's that movie Civil War.
That is surprising to me, because you told me you did not like this movie.
I know, but you know what? The more I think about it, it's scary that I think at some point our country could be this way.
Well, I thought the movie was fantastic.
Her performance is amazing, and
Who?
Kirsten Dunst.
Okay.
Surprisingly.
Because you don't like her.
I do. She's hit and miss. I do. If we go back to the cheerleader movie, I do. Bring It On or something. And there's some other things I like her in, and some things I don't, and some things I think, man, this is just a weird movie. Why did she do that? But you know what? It didn't matter. But she was really good in this. And then her husband's in it, right?
Yeah.
That guy.
Jesse Plemons.
Gosh, and he was creepers in this, and just the idea. It's not so far fetched if you
I think
watch
this movie,
it, and just the divide that we have, just even with the recent election, the past
this
few
movie is
elections,
scary
it's
because
scary.
it was so close to what was going on in the country.
Yeah, it hits on a different level right now.
I agree with you. I love this movie. I want to say it was in my
kind of one of the originals. Mm-hmm.
It may not have been. It was. There was an interesting argument of a lot of people like. I know we're turned off about it, like people here in Texas, because they're like, Texas and Florida or California, whatever it was, teaming up. It makes no sense. I want to watch the movie. But when you see the movie, it makes total sense.
Makes sense.
And it's always like a lesser of two evils rising up. So they can stop the one they disagree with, but eventually those two are going to be head to head against each other.
It's a scary movie.
It's an intense movie.
Yeah, it is.
This next one is not a sequel, but it stars someone who I love, and it's a movie I was really looking forward to, and I was so glad I wasn't disappointed. It was Thelma.
So fun.
I love Thelma. I love June Squibb ever since I saw her in the movie November, I think is what it was called. And she's been around a lot longer than that, but this was also her first leading role. She's always been somebody's grandmother or whatever.
She's so fun.
She plays Sheldon's grandmother in Big Bang Theory.
Oh, okay.
Like she's the older version of what's her face.
I gotcha.
Meemaw. Yeah. So anyway, I just love her, and the movie is funny. It's heartfelt. It's ridiculous.
It is so.
It's just one of those movies that I finished and I was like, that movie is freaking awesome.
It is a really good movie. I agree.
What else you got?
Okay, so that was 1, 2.
We've done 3 so far.
Yeah. I'm gonna do 3.
I've got 5.
I know, okay. But I'm just saying I'm on number 3. I'm trying to pick. All right, I'm trying to pick because I have so many that I really like. I really like this movie, Blink Twice.
What is it?
Blink Twice. I don't know if anybody else liked it, but I really did.
I liked it, but it became more creepy when the P. Diddy stuff started happening.
Yes.
And like at first, it's just like, that's kind of a ridiculous premise, and then the P. Diddy stuff came out, like, oh God.
Well, then I'm like, interesting. Very interesting. Like, is this art imitating life in a way? Because that's more creepy to me. And the idea, though, that this can probably happen,
Apparently did.
Yeah, to lots of people. And then I think, too, when I saw the interview with Drew Barrymore interviewing
Zoe.
Yes, Zoe Kravitz. And she's like, how much it touched her. She goes, because there were a lot of instances where I was at Hollywood parties drinking and partying. I have no idea.
Yeah, when they were younger.
Yeah, she's like this.
Her, Corey Feldman, Corey Haim,
all these things could have happened, maybe happened. We don't know. Well, in the Coreys, that's a sad story. I mean, so this movie is just kind of crazy thriller. But then I'm like, is this art imitating life and someone's trying to tell us something? I don't know.
It was funny because we watched this movie before all that other stuff came out.
Before it came out.
We watch it, we're kind of like, that's good, that's kind of creepy, but and then all the news started coming up about stuff, and we're all like, ooh, this movie is way too more. It's like Civil War now.
It's too close to home.
Going back to Thelma.
Yeah, right.
My next one is another sequel I never thought was going to ever happen. And when it did, it was like, there's no way it's going to work. And is it as powerful as the first film? Probably not, but it was still fantastic, which was Gladiator 2.
Oh,
I didn't expect Gladiator 2 to deliver like it did. There are some elements I would have preferred differently. It doesn't hit like the first movie, I don't think, because the first movie was its own voice, and this is, once you're kind of continuing, it's not got the newness, but I think there's a lot of elements that help it stand out to still be as good, if not,
and that was on my original list too at some point, so it's on here. I am going to pick. I have 2 more.
Oh,
because I picked 1, 2, 3. I need to do 4 and 5.
Oh, okay.
I think you're ahead of me, so I am going to pick Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, now that was on my original list of 10.
Okay, because
that cracks me up, because as much as a fan of Your Planet of the Apes, I remember when that first Planet of the Apes
I know.
movie came
I
out,
know.
and you're
I
like,
was
I'm not
so-
watching this movie. It's gonna
I was
suck.
so anti these movies because I'm like, no, I only like the original Planet of the Apes. No. And then we get to this, and I am over here crying about this ape, and I'm like, oh my
What
God.
we've learned is you cry a lot.
I cry a lot at movies because they touch me, but I think too this is another one where it's like he's just trying to take care of his family and his tribe, and then the human girl's trying to get back to her people and their tribes, and then just let people do their thing. And
Well, I
then
like
you get
that
this
this
evil
one-
this evil Caesar dude, and I'm just
I like that this one too. It's a continuation of the last series, but it jumps so far ahead it allows it to be a brand new
its own
series.
thing, yeah.
And so it doesn't rely on continuing the same characters and us just getting kind of, okay, here we go again. It's a whole new world. It's now feels more like the world of Planet of the Apes, and it's leaning into what could be the original movie and making this thing circle back all the way back to the original movie in some of the final moments.
Yeah,
You know,
we don't know.
I don't know if that's the plan or not, but who knows? I agree with you.
I know.
My last one again was another franchise movie, and again it was because as much as I love the franchise and the movies and the things that have come along with it, the trailer just didn't connect with me, so I didn't expect it to be the movie we got, and that was Transformers 1.
That was on my list
'Cause
at one point.
it ended
I
up
agree.
being such a great,
It was really good.
maybe the best Transformers movie outside of the original Transformers the movie.
Yeah.
Film they've done so far that does a great job of walking the line of being connected to the live action movies, but its own thing. I'm really sad that this movie didn't connect with audiences enough. It didn't do well as good. It did bad enough
it's
that
so good though.
it did bad enough that Hasbro is no longer funding movies for the Transformers franchise. So we may have seen our last Transformers movie of any kind.
That's too bad
I
because
don't
this is a good one. This is the best. Okay. Oh, I got one more though.
Yeah.
That was your last. Let me do my last one. My last one. We just watched this movie this week, and it got me in the feels, and I can't believe it. The movie Sing Sing.
Oh, yeah, I didn't add any of the brand new ones like that.
We just watched it this week. It did come out in 2024. Oh, it says 2023.
Well, because it just got released this year. It did
Oh,
like
okay.
the film,
Circuit. Critic,
yeah,
board.
the independent film
Oh,
festivals and stuff.
well,
And it's fixing to get re-released in 2 weeks at the
Okay.
theater.
well, I hope you can go see it. It is an amazing movie. It is, it's just so moving. With Coleman Domingo and a bunch of other guys and some real life, former incarcerated people in the New York prison system who are part of this drama program. It's a rehabilitation program, but I just like, man, this is just so moving. And I'm like, I'm over here, what can we do to help them? Like, what do we do? It's just so compelling and so moving, and I really love it.
It was fantastic.
It was really good.
All right.
All right.
Before we wrap it up, we wanted to go through. Hold on. Sorry about that. We wanted to name a few movies that we felt were like disappointing, not necessarily bad movies.
I'm making the face like,
Yeah, not necessarily bad movies per se, not box office flops, anything like that.
Yeah.
Just movies that our expectations
it just
were
didn't hit with me.
one thing, you watch it and you're just like, or I hated it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't make the list, so I have two in my brain
Okay.
that I can tell you about. I'm gonna let you go first while I look up something
Okay.
real
So
quick.
my first one, this one was super disappointing to me and to others in our circle. And maybe we just didn't get it, but it was the movie Night Swim. I was so
Yeah,
looking forward to
I
this.
agree with that.
And I know our friend was too. And then we see it, and we're like, meh, that was it. The trailer looks so compelling. And I thought we were going to get into this other worldly thing with whatever's living down there in the drain of the pool. And you kind of do, and you kind of see how it's gone and affected different families. But I'm just like, yeah, that was it. Like, it was so disappointing to me. I don't know if I expected it to be scarier, expected it to be a deeper story, but it was just like it just didn't hit with me. I'm sorry. And it only got a 20% on Rotten Tomatoes there. So maybe I wasn't the only one.
All right.
Sorry, Night Swim.
Oh, one of my first ones.
I think I know what you're going to pick.
I don't think you do.
Oh, what?
I just lost it.
Oh shoot.
As you
Go
started
back.
talking, you made me forget. Hold on.
No,
Go
no.
back up.
Hit back. Go back. Back.
There it is. What's the name of it? Oh, I just watched this one, so you think I'd remember
okay.
it. It's the movie Bagman.
Oh yeah.
And not that I had high hopes for it, because it's a horror flick, and you never know.
Yeah, you never know how it's gonna hit.
How it's gonna work and whatever. I actually watched this on a plane to Paris or on the way plane home.
Oh, this is why you looked to it, because I wanted to watch it because it has what's his name in it.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Sam Claflin or something like that.
Claflin.
Something like that.
Yeah, and he's the one in the other movie that I like to watch a lot. The Dying whatever. But anyway,
movie.
Yes, and you're like.
I flipped the movie finished and I flipped off the airplane.
And he just pointed at Bagman. No, don't watch it because it was on the list to watch.
So here's the thing: it's one of those movies that has potential. There's a good story there, and there's the elements it needs to be a good horror flick. The killer himself or not killer, whatever you want to call him, the bad guy, I guess, entity, whatever. He's creepy. When they reveal him, he was cool, but it was a little, they should have kept him the other way. The use of the bag and the zipper sounds and stuff was kind of cool. But the movie just drags on, and there's this little kid blowing a recorder nonstop. That was the most horrific part of that movie. That kid blow that recorder all the time, and you know that the recorder is going to play into the movie. Eventually. And it plays into a stupid way.
Oh no!
It was a movie that had potential to be great, and the performances I just thought were bad. It was just, I finished the movie, I was just angry that I watched that movie, and I was stuck on a plane that I couldn't leave and be angry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So,
all right, here's one. This is going to be controversial.
I got one that's controversial too.
This one. Lord have mercy. The movie Challengers with Zendaya and these guys. Y'all, this movie was not good. I don't know why people keep, it's so, people, come on.
It's a boring ass movie.
It was so boring.
The only thing I can say.
Men are not pretty.
No, the only thing I can say up and good about this movie is the performances were great. It was just a boring ass movie.
It was boring. There was nothing.
And it's baffled me how many people have listed this as a
top movie of the year.
I'm just like, wow, really?
Or it's sex depraved people, perhaps.
Yeah, and I think
sex craved or something.
I think part of it was the way this movie was promoted. It's not the movie we got.
Not at all.
It was promoted like there was gonna be this weird love triangle and sex.
No, it was nothing.
It was just stupid.
It was boring. This is the most boring, dumb movie ever.
I agree with you on that one.
I'm sorry, that's probably controversial, but it was not good.
Yeah, I don't think it's controversial.
Okay. Sorry. I'm angry about it. About how many people like it and it's not good.
This next one again, I'm not surprised this one was bad because it's a movie I don't think should have been made in the first place. And it's a character that nobody gives a crap about. But
is it gonna be this?
And I don't think the movie was as bad. Yes, I don't think the movie was as bad as everybody thought it was, in my opinion. But Madam Web was just dumb. Like, she shouldn't have been in that movie. And even she in interview has said she should have been in that movie now.
Yeah.
And it was promoted to introduce us to these Spider Women characters that you don't even get to the end of the movie. And clearly they were hoping to set up a franchise. And it was another case of Sony swinging and missing. And like I said, I don't think the movie is as tragically trashy as a lot of people think. I think I finished that movie and I was like, that's a movie that exists. But I don't care about Madam Web. She's not a character that should have her own movie. And it's one of those that was just like, and I was surprised that you didn't like it much either, because this felt like a movie that you would like.
Yeah, and it's on my list of ones I didn't get it. The reason that's on my list of this.
But you hate her.
I'm not a huge fan of Dakota. Which one's she? Johnson.
Yeah.
And
I like her.
But I'm just like, I don't really get why this is happening. There were times where things were happening like, I don't understand why this is happening. Yeah. Like, it just didn't make sense.
Like, I think the only really great thing about this movie was the end stuff when you get to see the girls in the costumes. They look cool. The villain is awesome when he's in the Spider-Man-like suit.
Oh, that one dude?
When he's out of the suit, he's just annoying.
I don't get
it. So it's a movie that exists.
It only has 11%, so...
Yeah, it's a movie that exists.
We weren't the only ones. That was on my list, too. Buddy.
What else you got?
My next one, yeah, I don't think you saw this, but it was upsetting to me. It was the Back to Black movie, the movie about Amy Winehouse.
It was upsetting to you?
The girl did an okay job. It was upsetting because I think Amy Winehouse deserves a really good movie about her life, and this one was just meh. It only got a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes too. I think they could have done a better job. I think the lady that played the main character, she was okay. It's just I feel like her story is so much more compelling, and I know it was really a short period of time that she was around, but there was so much there, and she was such a complicated person, and I think she deserves a really good movie. And this just this wasn't it. I felt bad after watching this. Like she deserves better.
All right.
That's just me. Sorry, but I don't think I was the only one. It didn't
I have
get
two
it.
more.
Okay, yes, I have two more.
The next one is the movie Afraid,
Oh,
which is the AI
the
movie.
I contemplated putting this on my list.
And here's my issue with this movie. I don't think this is a bad movie.
No.
I think this movie was interesting.
Yes.
I like that it set up a narrative of a bigger world to mess with. But it was one of those movies that's so filled with stupid decisions that it just made me annoyed with everyone in this movie. Like every decision was stupid.
Yeah.
And not in a way like you expect in a horror film. It was like usually people make a lot of bad decisions. Don't go in the room and whatever.
Yeah.
Don't open that book. All that. So you expect that. But it was like one after another, and it was just like, oh my God, please stop.
Mm-hmm. It was, and then at the end, there's no real resolution, and you're just like,
it's another one of those too busy setting up a bigger world, for something we'll probably never see.
Yeah, I agree. I contemplated putting that on the list, and then I took it off. But
what else you got? Give me one more.
I got two more.
Okay.
I don't know if this is going to be on your list, but
no, it's not.
It's unfortunate.
But I do agree with you.
This is the movie Reagan, starring Dennis Quaid. He does a great job playing Reagan. He does a great job. The movie itself is awkwardly told. It's told from the perspective of a
Russian
spy who, in theory, his job was throughout Reagan's life to keep tabs on Reagan and what he was doing on the fight on terrorism and the fight against the Nazis and bring down that wall and that whole thing. So, but it's just awkwardly told, and I feel like we're dropped into his life here, and then we're dropped in here.
It doesn't really tell his story,
and it doesn't tell the story.
To me, it seemed like it was more of a
strange.
It was a love letter to Reagan, and let's show just his high points of his life. They never said anything bad about him. They never showed it. I'm not saying Reagan was a bad person, but if I'm watching a biopic of somebody, I want everything.
Yeah.
I want the good, the bad, and everything in between. We didn't get hardly anything about his acting career.
Got a snippet.
Got nothing about his childhood, like just these little
snippet.
And I'm like, I want to know what made him get into politics. I wanted to know, all these things. And I agree with you. The only good thing about this movie was Quaid.
Yeah.
Who's fantastic in the movie.
And we got little snippets of things here and there that would be like, oh, that would have been good to expand upon, but no, they didn't.
Mine is going to be super controversial. My last one.
Okay.
My last one is Wicked. Look, I'll be the first to tell you.
Girl, I love it.
I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not a huge fan of The Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
I recognize its importance. I recognize what it did at the time that it came out. I don't discount it as the successful movie that it is. I'm also very glad that this movie did very well, because I love when something that so many people love delivers something that they like and that it's successful. So I'm not like a hater from a standpoint of like, oh, Wicked sucks. I was like, I just thought this movie was so boring.
You were bored. You were falling asleep.
Stupid.
He was starting to fall asleep. He had to get up.
And let me tell you, I went into this movie, I don't like Ariana Grande. I'm not a huge fan of musicals. So you might say, well, that's obviously why you hated it. But I went into this movie with positive. We went to a screening and I told her, I was like, I can't wait to watch this movie. This is going to be the moment. I'm going to love this movie. I'm going to be a convert. I can't wait. The movie opens. The opening sequence I thought was fantastic.
Yes,
I'm like, oh my God, this is such a great connection to the original Wizard of Oz. I'm really going to like this movie. Then we got the Munchkin Land with no Munchkins. and then it just went down a rabbit hole of everything I just didn't care about, and it felt all over the place to me. It felt like a story that who cares? You know, it's like I'm watching this movie and I'm like, I don't care about anything going on in this movie. You know, their singing and stuff was fine. It was powerful. I never heard a single song that hit me like a powerful song. And I know they're in there, but even as somebody who doesn't like musicals, I can watch a musical, say like The Greatest Showman, and you hit that. What is it? This Is Me.
Mhm.
That song hit me, and I was like, I think it's a fantastic movie, and I'm like, man, I felt that song. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't feel Color Purple musical. I had that same thing.
Yeah.
Like this movie, I felt nothing. I was just dead inside through this whole movie.
And you were falling asleep, quite honestly. He had to get up.
I was just so freaking bored.
I know, baby. I'm sorry. Thank you for watching.
And I was upset because I wanted to love it.
I know
I
you
wanted to have the experience that everybody else had. Visually, it's beautiful. It's a stunning looking film. Everybody's performances were fine. I'll give, as much as I don't like Ariana Grande, I give her props for some of her snooty, goofy behavior with the hair whipping thing. I thought was funny. I thought Ervo was fine in the movie. I thought she did a great job. I didn't care. I feel like I'm watching a story that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to know this connection.
Yeah.
And it didn't work for me. I was so disappointed.
No, I'm sorry.
And I get mad. The two things I was so excited for the end of the year to hopefully be over with, hearing anything about Taylor Swift and anything about Wicked. Those are the two things I didn't want to hear anything else about.
Well, I don't think you will for a while.
Thank God.
All right, mine might be controversial. This is the movie Twisters, which is the sequel to
You
Twister.
said you like this movie.
I like it, but it's not that great
This
compared
movie's
to the
fantastic.
first one. The first one is much better. I love the first movie. I think maybe too, because I've seen the first one probably 15 times.
We came out of this movie and you said you loved this movie.
I liked this movie.
I
did like
you lied
it.
to my face.
I liked it, but thinking of the 5 movies of the year that just didn't hit, this one did not hit on the same level as the first one to me. Okay, it's fine. I'll watch it again and see.
No, you're not allowed to.
But
I
no,
can't let you.
you can say you don't like Wicked. I can say I don't like Twisters.
Yeah, but Wicked's stupid.
Twisters was unnecessary.
Well, the first movie was unnecessary.
No, the first movie's great.
You just like Bill Paxton, and
I do like Bill
Paxton.
Paxton. Yes, there you go. I love Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt. Anyways, it's okay. You know, it's
How
fine.
dare you?
Sorry. There you go. Controversy
Nobody can
all
trust
over.
you. I know your movies you like. I can't trust you. All right.
Yeah, see, the sequel, it is hard to live up to Bill
Who said this?
Paxton. One of my friends.
Oh,
It's
of
true.
course, she's your friend. It's your friend.
We
Stick
will
up for her.
We will post our full list
None
of
of
our.
None of my friends stick up for me.
We'll post our full list of top 10s and our full list of the 5 movies that just didn't hit with us in 2024. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out our website, hollywoodmatrimony.com. Go find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Hive. We'll see you later.